out there. La la la.
La la.
Turn your record level up.
Oh, I think it's stuck underneath all my clothes. How's that?
No, it's fine.
Is that alright? It was like right in between my scarf.
Oh, it'll pick up your voice, don't worry. I can up the record level.
Okay. La la la.
Say hello, man. Or just say what? Wait.
Hello, Benahid.
No, that.
Good boy.
Right, microphone. You got his treats?
Yeah.
It's weird, I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah, like, it's like you're a voice inside my head.
That sounds a bit like Black Mirror-y.
How do you mean?
When your partner, you know the one where they die and they just become a voice in the head.
Oh yeah. It's a bit like that. You're in mono in my left ear.
Alright. Are you in your right ear?
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to tell because I'm talking and I can hear myself, so. I can sort of hear myself. Generally anyway. Watch out. Ivy's been mad.
Come on.
It's the ultimate combination, isn't it? Bin bag, high vis.
I think it's the bin bags he especially doesn't like. Come on.
Ooh. Is that a woodpecker?
Probably a pigeon, isn't it?
I don't know. Pigeon imitating a woodpecker.
Wood pigeons do, don't they?
Do they?
Oh, do they? So where did we take Lacey first? Was it Snowdon? Was it our first holiday together?
Yeah, it was. It was the first time we went camping.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
The campsite was pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, with the big lake and be able to have the bonfire.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Well, I don't know if it was actually a bonfire.
No.
Medium-sized fire. Oh, that bloody tent.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, it was St Jen's tent, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was like almost perfect, except the fact we had to carry it around.
Yeah. It was a bugger to walk that tent, but it was nice and spacious. So.
Oh no, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
It was just that last day when we were quite tired and trying to carry it on trains and buses.
Yeah.
It was a bit.
So where was it we went into? It was like Carnarvon. When we got there, where the castle is.
Colwyn Bay?
Colwyn Bay.
Colwyn? I can't remember. That was a strange little time. We got fish and chips, didn't we, in ice cream?
Oh, yeah.
And then the steam train.
Oh yeah, I love the steam
train.
train.
I'm just so excited about getting the steam train.
I was super excited about that.
Yeah. I think that was the first kind of proper hill walk I think I've done.
That was the first hill walk we did, yeah. I remember on the way up when I was trying to prop the hard drive on that pile of stones, and someone said, "Is that an elaborate? Are you trying to sell it on eBay?" And I said, "Yeah, it's an elaborate eBay pitch."
Line you've used a couple of times.
I have. Oh yeah. I often wondered if people knew what it was. I guess I
don't think I knew what it was before I started. Before you told me.
Oh really?
No.
I assumed that people would know it was a hard drive, but I guess that's just my line of work, isn't it?
Yeah, no. For me, a hard drive is like a little, almost like a CD case type thing, rather than something so massive.
Yeah.
Do you remember it was like really, really empty all the way up? You barely saw anyone.
Yeah.
And then because of the railway and the visitor centre and the cafe at the top, as soon as we got there, it was like rammed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was such a shame because we, like managed to get all the way up there with all the camera equipment as well.
Yeah.
Which is real
Heavy.
Yeah.
But was
really
it was a
hard
bit cloudy as well, wasn't it? I sort of remember emerging out of the mist and seeing the train sort of come out of the mist.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, we had that one sunny day, didn't we? And we
went skinny dipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to walk all those trees.
Oh yeah. So that was a really long day, wasn't it? I remember. And we where did we
It was
go?
longer than actually climbing Snowdon. Yeah, we walked sort of over a pass and down to another little town. Oh, and the town was famous for a king was buried there. Like it made like a like ancient king. Remember the story where he killed his dog because he thought the dog had eaten his son, but it turns out the dog had just been protecting him from a wolf.
Yeah, it was like a wolfhound or deerhound or something, wasn't it?
I can't remember what it was.
And there was because there was a little stone commemorating it, or with like a poem on it or something, wasn't it? And it was in like a copse.
Yeah.
In the in the middle of the valley, wasn't it? Right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
But I think that was the first Lacey trip.
Yeah.
We had that like massive pizza, and then ended up we weren't very prepared because we walked all the way to the town and then realised there was no bus or anything to get back to the campsite.
Oh yeah.
We spent like 30 quid on like a 20-minute taxi.
Yeah. Oh, that was ridiculous.
How long ago was that?
How long ago was that?
I mean, we've been together for 5 years. I think we got together in March, and then I think we went in August.
In August, was it?
I think so. Yeah. So much has happened. We've shipped Lacey so many other places since. Where did we go next?
Where did we go next?
Yeah. Was it Frome?
Did we go down to Frome?
Or was it at Southend?
It might have been Southend actually. I think when we went out with your dad.
Yeah, on the Broomway.
Yeah.
That was nice going there with you because, like, I'd obviously lived in the area grew up in the area.
Yeah.
But had never known about that walk.
The Broomway?
Yeah.
That was me geeking out and having a look at OS map.
I thought it was that Rogue McFarlane.
Oh, it was. Yeah.
The old ways.
It was, yeah.
Because is it the most like dangerous right of way in the country or something?
Most dangerous public footpath or something.
Yeah.
Because of the tide.
It's weird that you can grow up in an area for your whole life and it takes somebody to show you, somebody from outside the area to show you it in a way.
Yeah. I think I found that when I took you down to Frome.
Yeah.
Suddenly I was able to show someone all the places that I went as a kid and we could discover new places. Like King Alfred's Tower.
Yeah, that was incredible.
And we walked up there. And I'd never been up there before,
Was that by the time you had a second Lacey?
Yeah, I think I had a few maybe by that point.
Because they kept looking really beat up where you'd been out filming.
I know, there's not much continuity in the film. Where else did we go?
Fossils?
Fossils, Ironworks.
Yeah. Do you remember you had all those experiments with pumped up bike tyres inside Lacey?
Yeah.
To try and make her float. Was that by the time you had a second Lacey?
Yeah, I think I had a few maybe by that point.
Because they sort of kept looking really beat up where you'd been out
I
filming.
know, there's
with
not
them.
much continuity in the film. Yeah. Yeah, it was quite funny trying to make it sort of neutrally buoyant.
Yeah.
So the light would just pop above the water. So it was just sort of optimum buoyancy.
Did you do it in the end where you threw her down the river?
Yeah, I think I went out by myself when I went back one time and chucked her down. Can I just do this quickly? I can hear your zip. Sort of. Maybe if I just do that. Sensitive. Better. Yeah, no, I went out by myself and chucked it down the weir. But it's all. Last time I went down was that long ago, and it's all completely flooded.
Oh really?
Yeah, a lot of it's sort of slowly being
Eaten up.
eaten up by the river. Yeah. Who's that?
This is a bit steep.
Well. And then what year did we go to Linda's farm?
Was that when we were living in Brockley?
Was it?
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, because I had that old bike, didn't I?
The old steel bike,
Yeah.
super heavy one.
Oh no, is it? Did I still have the blue one?
Quite possibly.
Because we cycled, didn't we, from Berwick upon Tweed,
Yeah. We cycled out to.
and it was all sort of a bit off-roady, and you're all like super slick road bike, you couldn't really handle it.
No. It was a good cycle though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a great holiday.
Yeah. Never holiday ruined by having the camera there.
I didn't mind that so much. I think it's when we went up Ben Vane with the camera.
Yeah.
That's when it started to get to me. Always having the camera with us. So well, by that time, the camera and Lacey had been coming around with us for 3 years,
Yeah.
and it felt like we went to these amazing places and we did stuff together. But then when we got to the top, or when we got to the moment that was spectacular, instead of having a moment with each other and enjoying it with each other, you went into work mode and got the camera up and stuff, and it just felt
Yeah, and that camera.
it wasn't fun anymore. Because it felt like it took something, the camera, instead of enabling us to go places and sort of being a document of what we were doing, it felt like the camera took over.
But
I think by the time that 3 years in, and we came to Scotland to think about moving up and moving out of London, and you were still lugging this expensive camera around. I don't know. I understand why you like to use it, but I'm saying that at that point in time, when we were just about to embark on this adventure together, to have this third, the camera sort of became the third person in our relationship, really. It made me feel angry.
Yeah.
Also, it's so expensive,
Yeah.
whole film processing, it's such an expensive process.
Yeah, it really is. I find that it enables you it teaches me about something about filmmaking, to do it on film.
But is that not just the... Do you not sort of like the exclusivity of it?
It's a bit of a club, yeah.
It's quite geeky and it's quite like... I mean, I get why you like to use it and it's beautiful. Like, there's no denying that. But, I mean, maybe in a way, maybe that the way that the film is shot on film has stopped you doing other things.
How do you mean?
Because the filming has been such a drawn out process, an inexpensive process, that if it was easier, maybe you'd have had more room to think about other things in other projects. That
other projects, you mean?
Yeah, and that you could have like completed in a year or 6 months, or because it doesn't feel like you've enjoyed it. And that's like really hard to watch.
I guess at points I haven't enjoyed it, no. I think when I get quite stuck with it, I get quite frustrated with it. And I feel like I have a responsibility as well to all the people that I've interviewed, and sort of putting them in a half decent film that actually has some substance to it. Isn't just the musings of a madman, you know?
Yeah, but equally you're in a really privileged position to be able to make this film. You know, to have the time and the money to do that. And if you're not enjoying it, then what's the, like, I don't know. It's just frustrating. That's just frustrating to be on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Because I wish that I had your time.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think this is the problem though about the research, was that you never felt, it was always shifting. You had this idea, but then you'd shift the goalpost because you'd read something, or because it took such a long time, you couldn't just deal with one aspect of it.
It was completely unbounded a lot of the time. So
yeah, and this was, you know, if you could have made, this could have been like, you know, you could have done 5 films really, each looking at a different aspect of data. But the fact that you wanted to put it all into one film made it very precious.
Yeah.
And has made like the footage very precious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the hardest thing I find about it is sort of loosening up. And also accepting that it's quite absurd. And like embracing that really, maybe. Oh, Fingal. You've got this. Oh no, I think that's inevitable with him, isn't it? Yeah. You see all the wild garlics popping up.
I know, it's starting, isn't it? We can make some pesto, put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think I'm being harsh?
No, I think you've kind of said all of this before anyway, to me, in conversation. I think sometimes it's quite hard hearing stuff from you, because of the closeness, and also your involvement in it, and also, I guess, that idea of authorship, and to know that someone else might know your work better than you is quite a terrifying prospect.
I wouldn't say I know your work.
Well, I think you've been involved in it, and we've talked about it a lot.
Endlessly.
Endlessly, maybe. Yeah, maybe not endlessly. Talk about other things.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to work out what the film also was. Because it was about the last man as well, wasn't it? The end man.
The end man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's its starting point. That was always its starting point.
Back from the other film.
Yeah. Was the idea of the last man, yeah. Oh look, it's them going.
Yeah, we've come around closer, haven't we?
Yeah. That's quite a nice view from here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of was the last one. So I think originally that's why I wanted to
Have it empty.
have everything empty. So it was a sort of post-apocalyptic landscape. But I thought that was a bit too... I mean, the film's quite conceited anyway, but I thought that was too conceited.
It does talk about interesting things. Like, I had no idea about those biological computers.
Yeah, unfortunately that bit's not in the film anymore.
Oh, right.
It doesn't quite fit.
Like, I think sometimes you don't always 100% understand the concept.
No.
And then I think it's quite good when you talk to me. Because I don't pretend to know anything. And I ask you, and it makes you really have to understand.
Yeah. I have to be able to explain it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah. Because I think that's the other danger, is that this film becomes too much of a description of books, or I think it would be a shame, because it is interesting, but it's got to be done in the right language so that people can access it. But I think if you use a language that people can't access, I mean in terms of like very academic terms.
I think that's where I've gone though. I think that's the problem. I went down the rabbit hole of academia.
But you're not an academic.
No, I know.
You're an artist. So it's like, what can you add, or how can you present these ideas in a different way that adds something, or give them a new audience, or...
Yeah. I mean, I think only recently maybe I've become more considerate of the audience of this film, and I think the music's a large part of that.
Yeah.
And also just utilising the humour of it a bit more. I think for a long time I felt I was a bit too overly serious with it, where in fact the concept is entirely inherently absurd.
Do you think the humour is a bit about this interview as well? Because there's a knowingness.
Yeah.
You interviewing me will add like an element of knowingness onto the film, and there's some bits that we've said that people might laugh at.
Yeah.
But actually, I think as well, adding like an element, of us talking about our relationship and how the film's affected us, and what's happened between us in these like 5 years of you starting the film and hopefully finishing it. I don't know. I think that adds. I think you being a bit honest about yourself and how these ideas fit into a life. Do you know what I mean? Rather than it being sort of like cloistered and academic.
Yeah. Becoming the subject in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think as well, maybe that's why we've had so many, like why we have had some quite tense discussions about the film, is because there's a bit of anxiety for you in it, and if I question, it's hard to differentiate questioning a film and questioning you and your ability or your, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Close to the bone.
Yeah, it's all a bit close to the bone. I guess it's weird to think that like in the course of this film I feel like I've changed a lot.
Okay.
And like the things that I've been doing, and where maybe it feels like you've been a bit stuck.
Okay. But because of the film or despite the film?
I would say because of the film.
You think that sort of stuck, but like stuck in what way?
Like your practice has been stuck, maybe? You made one other film.
Stalled.
Stuck.
No, stuck.
Yeah, you made one other film, and the other film that you did make was all, fun and light and very snappy.
And enjoyable to make.
And enjoyable to make.
It must be up this way.
Oh, we've gone the wrong way.
Oh, have we?
Yeah.
Oh, it's alright. Go this way and then
up that road.
And that road. Oh, got a branch on me.
It's weird. Like, no, your work is definitely your work, but I can see how our life together influences that.
Yeah.
And I think I'm quite good at being like, oh, I want to get here, I'm interested in this, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's rubbed off on you. Not the curiosity, but what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But I think that's nice. I think that's part of I think there's a symbiosity to our relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really interested in data.
No, neither am I. I'm not really. No. I'm interested in everything around it. That's not, the subject of data itself is not interesting. I think it's a very reductive idea.
I think the storage of data is really important. I think, I think that's what our worldview is made up of, isn't it? But there's qualitative data, the film is like a memory aid, isn't it? The film's like the record. It's not like the only way that we can remember these places is by talking to each other. We can look at the films that you made. I imagine if we tried to remember a place or a time that we went to when we didn't take any films and didn't take any photos, that would be different. The places that you're talking about in the films, because there's a visual record in the film itself.
Yeah.
That's like the third part of the relationship.
So how do you think about that in relation to the film itself and what it's about in terms of, what it's partly about in terms of building material archives of knowledge and information? I think I'm quite interested in our conversation because it's evidence of a lived memory.
Do you think that's not sort of like any art though? It's like, oh, I'm here, look at me making something.
But there could be, I guess there could be, but only if you make it into something. Like, I'm sort of saying that maybe...
What, do you think like a painting or a drawing is not just the same, just like with less content?
Yeah, but it changes
different content.
It changes something, doesn't it? I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, it changes the thing that you're documenting.
What does?
To materialise it.
But your film's not materialised.
Well, it's a thing.
Your film's
it's not
on
a memory.
hard drive.
It's not a memory. Yeah.
But it's not a thing.
Well, it's a digital thing, which is still a thing.
Hang on, can we start again? I don't think I really understand what you're talking about.
You're saying there's a third element to our process of remembering things, which is documenting it.
Yes.
Which is the process of documenting something, an experience, and documenting an event.
But it's not.
An idea.
It's biased. It's a biased source. It's your memories of it, and it's your manipulations of it.
Yeah.
Are you saying that everyone's got a Lacey in their head?
Well, I guess, I don't know, maybe...
Are you sort of asking, so say those ceramic discs, it's trying to record a quality of data, it's trying to record emotions and the language and it's trying to record those things. It has to do that in a quantitative way. It does it in writing, it does it in... Yeah?
Yeah.
So, what gets lost in that process? Is that what you're asking? What gets lost when you try and store qualitative qualitative information in a quantitative format?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Are you asking me how the qualitative the experience of going to these places and our relationship and watching you make the film translate into the actual film?
I guess.
Should we take all these bits off?
You done?
Are we done? It feels like we're done.
Come on then. You never want to go back in, do you? Why do you never want to go back home? You love home. The outside world is full of terrifying things.
Kenan, you gonna sit? Good boy.
Go on then. In you go.